We need to talk. And we need to talk specifically about a shit show of a platform known as Stadia. Now, I've got a whole lot of different problems with Stadia. And one of those problems is specifically the fact that streaming games via the cloud is just not a good idea, right? You're gonna have shitty connection, you're gonna have really bad services. If the servers are down, you're gonna be completely shit out of luck because there's no other way to play the game. And on top of that, in case the platform shuts down, then you're fucked. But wait a second, that's what's going on now. Now this sucks if you're the average American, right? Because think about it. If you're over here in America, chances are you're using a billion different subscription services and one of them might be Stadia. To anybody outside of the United States or Canada or maybe Britain, there is a massive problem with subscription services specifically in the United States. If you're the average person in the United States, the chances are that you're using YouTube Premium, Spotify, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime, and then on top of that, you're probably, if you're very, very bad with your money, also using Stadia. And on top of that, if you're a content creator, then my fucking god, you could probably be paying every single year for an Adobe Creative Cloud license. After a while, the subscription services just build up. And I'm not a big fan of the fact that people's bills are just gonna build up. Now imagine, right? You're paying every month or every year to play your games. This is what I've had against Xbox Live and PlayStation Network for years. It's the major reason why I don't use Xbox Live or PlayStation Network. It's because you have to pay to play online. That's fucking ridiculous in my books. You see, in my perfectly utopian society, except this is not utopian, here's how you play online, okay? You pay the electric bill, and you pay the internet bill. That's it. That's all you need to do. You just pay your electric and internet bills so that way you can play your video games online. That's all it needs. We don't need some other middleman to dictate what we're playing online while paying every single month. Imagine paying for Steam every goddamn month. Ridiculous. Now, from what I understand, Google Stadia is actually doing a full refund for people's games. I'm not sure why this is, but hey, I mean, at least you're getting some money back. That's cool. However, I do want to say something. Don't think that this is out of Google's goodwill. From what I understand, the reason why they're doing this is because all of the legal troubles that they would have for not refunding their money would amount to a much larger loss than what they're going to do by pushing out all of these refunds. So don't think that this is an act of goodwill. If Google wanted to do something out of their own goodwill, then they would stop data harvesting and then selling it to companies like Microsoft or Yahoo. If that happens, then we could talk about Google doing something out of their own goodwill. Hello everyone, I'm Techmo from the future, and I'm just coming out here to say something real quick. Now, not only does Google do a massive amount of data harvesting, but they also use it for personalized advertising. I mentioned that they sell this sort of stuff to companies like Microsoft and Yahoo, but this can also extend as far as Amazon, eBay, or any other retail site. Now, I'm not a big fan of this for very obvious privacy reasons. However, that is something that people cannot really do anything about, so cope, I guess. Anyways, there are a couple of things that you might want to consider. Number one, there's about 7 ads being played on some YouTube videos. Now, I haven't really gotten any of these because I use an ad blocker, and I'm gonna be open about the fact that I use an ad blocker. However, Google Chrome is planning on banning ad blockers, and as a person who uses Google Chrome and who uses an ad blocker, I am now planning on moving over to Opera GX. Just letting you know, I'm not sponsored by them. This is just me saying this. Anywho, back to past Techmo. Now we're going to be potentially losing these exclusives to Google Stadia unless, and I mean unless, they're ported to different platforms like PC, or Nintendo Switch, or PS5, or Xbox Series X. Like, we need a port of these games if we're going to keep them around. So first off, one of the first games that we have here is Hello Engineer. It's a Hello Neighbors spin-off thing. I don't think anybody really cares about that. The next one that we're going to be potentially losing is a third-person roguelike game known as Pixel Junk Raiders. Now, from what I understand, people didn't really like this game either, but at the same time, I think preserving both of these games is important, as we do just need to preserve art in general, no matter if it's good or bad. The third one it looks like we're gonna probably lose is Outcasters, which is developed by Splash Damage. It's a top-down online multiplayer combat game. There was also Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle, which is kind of like a Pac-Man arcade slash Pac-Man Battle Royale thing. I mean, it seems fun, but guess what? If Stadia shuts down and this game's not ported to other platforms, fuck you, you're not going to be able to play this game anymore. The next one that we could potentially lose is a game called Guilt. It's a third-person horror game starring some young kid. Now, I don't know anything about this game either. However, from what I understand, the game is about 6 hours long, and on top of that, it's considered by most Stadia fans to be the best exclusive game on the service. Now, while a lot of people don't really care about Stadia or any of the exclusives on its platform, since most of the exclusives seem like they're very lackluster anyways, this sucks for video game preservation reasons. Like, this really sucks for video game preservation reasons. Now, about 3 years ago, a Stadia employee came out and hosted an AMA, and somebody dared to ask the following question. If the Stadia service is discontinued, do we know what, in parentheses, if anything, will happen with game purchases? Alternatively, are there any minimum EOL guarantees? I think they meant, are there any minimum EOL guarantees, but I'm not here to grammar police someone today. And when he says EOL, he means end-of-life guarantees. Now, the response that he got back, and keep in mind, this is a 3-year-old post, the response that he got back is really fucking dumb, and I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure that out. It was really just a bunch of corporate speak for, yeah, we hear you, but yeah, we don't give a shit, like most corporations say. I'm not gonna read the entire response, because that's gonna take a while. However, I will read the first sentence. We get this a lot. I hear you. Moving to the cloud is scary. I felt the same way when music was transitioning from files to streaming. I still have all my old CDs in the garage, although it's hard to find a CD player these days. Smiley face. Oh, you piece of shit. You stupid piece of shit. Oh yeah, dude. Video games are so easy to preserve nowadays. Ah, yeah, it's not like they have any, like, sort of middleman right there, sitting there, trying to make sure that you can't play their games when you're not using their services, and to make sure that you can't move your games from machine to machine without using their services. Now, what is that called again? I forgot. I think I know that it starts with a D and ends with an M, but I can't really wrap my brain around it. Oh, that's right, it's called DRM! And even then, if we're going to be avoiding the point about DRM, then why don't we talk about why streaming as a thing just sucks shit? I can't back up my shows on fucking Netflix. I can't download Breaking Bad from Netflix once it's removed. Once it's removed, that's it. I gotta find another streaming service that has Breaking Bad. Or I have to go out of my way to buy a fucking DVD player and the multi-DVD collection of Breaking Bad. Do you know how fucking difficult that is? Do you know how little people have DVD players or Blu-ray players? No, streaming services suck shit. And so having 5 exclusive games on the platform just makes it so that way you can't back up Google Stadia exclusives. And the worst part actually goes for developers, right? If you're developing a game for Stadia and you weren't told from Stadia that their service was shutting down, you basically found out from fucking Reddit or Kotaku. You found out through some third-party source that the thing you were developing for is shutting down. Imagine if that happened with Xbox Live. It's ridiculous. This left multiple different devs to actually have to try to implement some other outside system to make sure shit actually works. In fact, the Super Animal Royale devs, I gotta give them props. They were ahead of the game on this one. The ball was in their court. They have their own proprietary login service for their game. So, if you're going from platform to platform, you can transfer your stats between each platform. And the same thing goes for Stadia. So if you're on Stadia and you log into your Xbox version or your Switch version or your PC version, then boom, your shit's still there. I'm very glad that they didn't have any Stadia exclusive cosmetics. Holy fucking shit, that would have been bad. Now, despite everything that I just complained about, there is one positive to potentially losing these exclusives, and that is we're only losing 5 exclusives. Imagine if this shit carried on. We could have lost 20, we could have lost 100, we could have lost 12 billion. Who the fuck knows? So hey, at least the shitty as fuck idea of streaming games off of the cloud might be off the table for the next 5 years. This video left me exhausted. Well, I hope you liked this video and that you learned something. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Ring that notification bell in the corner next to the subscription button as well, so that way you can know exactly when I upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Techmo, out!